Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out. Die with my own doubts. Be free.
Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to be tackling my pantry. As some of you may or may not have seen, this summer I recently redid my pantry completely, but it has begun to look like this over time. So I need a better organization system, so that's what we're going to be going ahead and working on today. So if you need some pantry motivation, I am definitely your girl. Let's get started. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this vacuum cleaner. So I always have my Dyson hung up in the pantry because honestly I have nowhere else really to put it. So I kind of always just keep it here. But I noticed that it's definitely part of what is causing my issues with my pantry because I have it hanging right there and it's kind of a pain in the butt to move around to get into the pantry. So I end up just kind of like putting things like as close as I can to the front, and then I end up with a huge mess. So I'm gonna have to find a different spot for that somewhere else, and it just can't go there anymore because I need to be able to get into that pantry completely without worrying. So that's what I did first, was I took that off the wall. Gonna find a new home for it, and now as you can see I just emptied out the pantry completely. And what I'm going to do is, like, typically I would like to take everything out of all the bins and everything, but I just had so much and I was trying to do this on a time crunch. So I thought, okay, I'm just going to organize it as best as I can on the table within these bins. And I ended up having to change things around quite a few times. And the sad realization that I had to come to is that I needed to get rid of some of my bins. So the end result isn't quite as pretty with all of like the beautiful white pristine bins, but I needed to fit more stuff in here because I had a lot of food and I just didn't have enough room if I wanted to keep everything in the bins. So some stuff ended up having to come out, but as you guys will see, I go through a ton of different options and I just kind of like switch things around, move things around as I go.
You heard, leave me in the dirt, gonna leave me with my issues, gonna leave me with my issues, gonna leave me with my issues, gonna leave me with my, gonna leave me with my
Lying next to you, feeling something brand new. And I haven't seen you in years, but I know you. Oh, I really missed you. Before when I met you, I never saw. No, I never saw the way that you look now is all I know. Yeah, it's all I know. So forget about the past. You and I could be lasting.
So like I said earlier, I'm just kind of moving things around and I'm just like trying to make things fit as best as possible. And I think it was around this time where I started realizing, hey, some stuff's going to probably have to come out of these bins. I'm not going to be able to use all these bins, and some stuff's just going to have to stay on the shelf as is, which makes it less pretty, but definitely makes it more functional. And when you have a really small pantry like mine, you kind of just need it to be functional. I don't actually believe that this closet was meant to be a pantry. I think it was actually meant to be a closet. We have a lot of like storage issues in our house. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed, but we really don't have, like, we do not have a closet by any door in our house. We have 3 entry doors to our house and there's no closet or anything by any of them. So it's so hard to find storage for jackets and boots and stuff like that. And I think that this might have actually been intended to be a storage, like a clothing closet. but we also need pantry. So it's just, when we moved into the house, it was somewhat of a pantry. It was set up somewhat like a pantry. So I decided to keep it a pantry, and I definitely need one, but it's so awkwardly shaped. It's really deep, but it's like short, so it's hard to get into. It's such an odd space, but as you guys can see, I am just starting to stack all of the cans because I realized I had so many cans. I needed to keep those out of the bin, so I'm going to have a whole shelf that's just cans, and I'm trying my hardest to just kind of like move things around and kind of like Tetris things in there.
So forget about the past. You and I could be lasting. The stuff that could be lasting.
So what I'm doing now is I just got these little chalkboard labels, I guess. They're just like little wooden labels that have the chalkboard on them, and I got them from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to go ahead and write down what is actually on the bins. I can change them at any time, and then this way this helps things to be a little bit clearer for anybody else, aka my boyfriend, that is in the house that might not know off the top of his head what is in all of these bins. And instead of just throwing them in whatever bin is nearest, he can actually look and see where whatever the item is supposed to be going.
Every time I see your face, I'm losing track of time and space. I don't know where I am. It's like I'm wasted, and I won't waste it. And I promise that I will stand by you forever. I can't get you out of my mind. I will follow you wherever, and I won't waste this. I'll follow you, yeah. I'll follow you, yeah. Could you come a little closer now? 'Cause I don't wanna slow this down. My heart is screaming out your name. I'm wasted on you. Here we are, right underneath the stars. So let's get a little reckless. You make me breathless.
Okay guys, so as you can see, I took away a lot of my bins, but everything that I do have is a lot more organized with all of the labels. That really helps a lot. And I was able to fit a lot more on my shelves, which unfortunately, it definitely does not look as pretty as it did with all the bins, but I saved a lot more room this way. And I mean, it looks a lot more pretty than what it did when we started this video. So got my snack bins down here with some extra baking stuff. I have my baking shelf there, and then we move up here to cans, canned goods. I've got pasta and rice on this shelf. This is kind of like the random shelf here. So in the one bin, I've got hot sauces, salad dressings, dip mixes. The next one I have ingredients to make sushi and cold rolls. And then I've got beans, dried beans in that one. Then up here is kind of like the breakfast shelf. So I've got oats there, I've got peanut butter and honey and all that good stuff back there. And then different kind of cereals and pancake mix. So it's a lot more organized, and hopefully this will be the way that I will be able to keep it. All right, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. As you guys can see here, this was the before, and we have a much better after that is a lot more organized. Not quite as pretty without the bins, but you know what? It is functional and it is working so far. It's been a couple of weeks since I filmed this, and it has actually stayed clean in there, so that makes me very happy. So Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I hope that I was able to inspire you with this video, and let me know in the comments down below if I did. Hope you're having an awesome day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!
About to leave, already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know.